So yeah, if anyone can't hear me clearly, you can increase my volume. But for now, that's all I can do. So let's start our lesson. Today we will talk about causative voice, and as I said, if we have enough time left, we will talk about cooperative voice. And we will start with what is causative voice and how it is used and what are the details that you need to remember in order to use this voice properly. So, the suffixes are "er" or "are", like 4 type or 2 types of vowel harmony, and then "t", and then "der" suffix with all the consonant changes. That's why they are actually in upper cases. The uppercase in this format means it is subject to vowel harmony and consonant changes. Actually, let me go to presentation mode, which I hope you can still watch it, because I'm streaming my whole screen, not the application itself. So what is causative voice? First, I will explain that in English. It is better to understand the concept, and then you can start learning it in Turkish. It's basically causing someone to do someone. Like you basically make someone do something for you or for someone else. Let's see examples. He made me cry. So, he is the subject. We are talking about someone, and me, I am the object, and he made me cry. I am crying because of him. He caused this sad feeling on me, and as a result, I am crying. So he is the subject, and he caused me to cry. And the same examples, he made me talk, she made him leave, they made us ask. Te is usually added to verbs that ends in a vowel. Okay, it ends in a vowel. And what is a vowel? There are 8 vowels. A, E, I, O, U, Ü. If your verb ends in one of these letters, you get this te suffix. And there are also some other rare questions, verbs, where with L, I put it in uppercase so you wouldn't confuse it with I. This is an L. So if there's also an L at the end, you can use te. And I will actually leave this presentation mode, and we have these examples here. And yes, graph A, E, I, O, U, yes. Maybe I can quickly type them on my screen. A, E, I, O, U, Ü. These are vowels, these are voiced letters. If you have these letters at the end of your verb, you use a te. Okay, so aramak. How will I say ara? Like aramak means, I can also insert the translations, which means to call or search. Things have multiple definitions most of the time. Yes, Megan, that you are correct. Aratmak. And this time you make it to make someone call. Mesela, I made my son call his dad. So you told your son to call his dad. So arattım oğluma. Babasını arattım. And next one, başlamak, which means to start. Başlattım. This time you say başlattım. And I always use the simple past tense, but you can change the tense. You can say başlatacağım or başlatıyorum. Mesela at the end of the lesson I can say dersi başlatıyorum. I am starting the lesson. So başlatmak, to make something or someone to start something. And dinlemek. You can actually type the correct answers in the chats as I go to the next verb. So how will you say dinlemek means to listen. To listen. You made a small typo, Sami, but yes, Graph, that's correct. You insert this T into the conjugation dinletmek, which becomes to make someone listen. So I think we can use this in an example when you have a favorite song, then you share it with your friend and then you tell him, hey, check this out. Sana dinletmek istiyorum. I want to make you listen to this. I want to share this with you. I want that you listen to this. Sana dinletmek istiyorum. And I will talk quickly about my memory when I was learning English, because dinletmek in English it's not very translatable. Like making someone listen to something sounds like it's like forcing. You force them to listen to it. But it's actually a bit more showing something. Hey, like let me show you. Let me listen. Let me make you listen. So, and hatırlatmak. Yes, Megan, that is correct. So, hatırlamak means to remember. And then you say hatırlatmak. So, hatırlatmak. And I will actually talk about the delights of Turkish part about this. Because to make someone remember is actually to remind someone. Like there are also independent other verbs for this. So let's continue our verbs. Okumak, to read, and then you say okutmak. Yes, Sami, good job. To make someone read. Temizlemek. How would you say? Temizlemek means to clean, by the way, and that was in the examples, I think. To clean. Yes, Sami and Vio, these are correct. Temizletmek. I don't think I need to type all the translations next to each other. I think these are clear and understandable at this point. So, in the second note, it says it can also be added to verbs that end in the letter L. For example, this one, azalmak, which means to decrease. So when you say azaltmak, it's like, again in English you say I will decrease it, but it's more like saying I will make it decrease. Azaltmak. Yes, Graf, perfect example. He is making her listen to it. So çocuk, erkek, kıza şarkı dinletiyor. And let's do the last one. Çoğalmak. Çoğalmak, from my memory, I think it's like to multiply. Like when something gets grow in numbers, it multiplies, çoğaltmak. So çoğaltmak. Yeah, exactly. It comes from çok. And let me see the questions. Does the causative suffix make the subject having a e suffix like oğluna arattı? Okay, Sami, that's a very nice question. My answer is yes and no, because there are two ways to say it. Some people say accusative like oğlunu arattı, but in my opinion, from what I know, is wrong, like inaccurate. But usually you need to say it with dative, oğluna arattı. Because if you say oğlunu arattı, it still sounds like oğlu is the object and she is making other people to call his son. Mesela adama oğlunu arattı. Adama oğlunu arattı. Is it a region thing? Maybe, but from, like, in my opinion, is a bit more like social status. Some people who are not very advanced in speaking correct Turkish, which we call the Istanbul Turkish, like in their daily life, they use the wrong one. But in texts, in academical articles, we mostly use the dative. Okay, and the next one is abartmak. Sarah, no. Not every verb that has te in it is causative. The way to understand whether or not it's causative is removing the t, just like you did, abarmak. Then if it is a verb, yes, it's causative. But in this case, abarmak is not a verb. It doesn't exist. So abartmak is the root itself. Okay, and let's move to or ar. It's the simple, what you do again is checking the last letter, but this time, instead of a vowel, if there's a consonant, you put this or ar. But you can decide or ar depending on 4 or 2 types of vowel harmony and graph. That's where the lesson gets difficult. You need to know how vowel harmony works. There are very, detailed tables for this. If you know it, then it will be easy as well. So, pişmek. So, all of these examples are the same examples anyway, so they all have consonants, so it will always be So it's kind of pointless to ask you what it will be. But still, I will let you conjugate them. You can still type your answers. How will you insert in this pişmek? And meanwhile, I will be drinking my water. Okay, suyumu içtim. Teşekkürler Sami. And your answer is correct. Pişirmek. Monosyllable make a difference of when to use, like aorist. Not in the causative voice, Megan. It doesn't matter. Because in the next one, there are also other one-syllable things that still have different verbs. Okay, and doymak. Yes, doymak, doyurmak. I will insert the main verbs translation. Pişmek means to cook, and pişirmek. Guys, please remind me when we are done with this. I will explain this in Delights of Turkish. There's a detail about this. And kopmak, koparmak, exactly. Koparmak. Bitmek, bitir. I did this, sorry. How about the next one? Graph, you can actually try it. How will you insert an or r into this? Okay, you are correct. Duyurmak. Perfect. You still remember. Because we have this u, so the vowel harmony says after u it comes ur. Duyurmak. And düşmek. How is the last one in the causative voice? Yes, Vio. You are correct. Düşürmek. I didn't insert the translations. Let me quickly do that. Doymak, to be full when you eat full. Sorry, when you eat food and you feel full. In Turkish, we have a verb for this. In English, you will basically say like, hey, thanks, or the food was nice, I'm full, I don't want to eat anymore. But in Turkish, we have an actual verb, doydum. And when you say doyurmak, it's causing someone to be full, as in to feed someone. I can simply call this to feed. You are basically filling someone's stomach with food and you're causing them to feel full. Yeah, exactly, doydum. We say this. When we don't want to eat food anymore, we say doydum. It's an actual verb. Kopmak. Okay, kopmak to means break off. Like the strings, the rope breaks off. And when you say koparmak, you are the one doing it. You break it off. Bitmek means... Oh. What? That was an accident. Bitmek means to end or to finish. But when I insert bitirmek, I am the one ending it. And this goes the same as pişirmek. So I put this yıldız on it. Duymak, to hear. Duyurmak, to make someone hear. So to announce someone. I will talk about a bit more about this. Like sometimes we only have this, like to make someone hear. But sometimes we also have a separate verb for it. To announce. Because in logics, if you think about it, announcing someone is making someone hear about something. And düşmek, to fall. Düşürmek, to make someone or something fall, as in, you know, if you again think about it, when you make someone fall, you drop it. Okay, so this was our second suffix. Let me quickly read all the questions. What is the difference between duyurmak and duydurtmak? It's a difference in the meaning, and we call them double causative. It's like making someone making someone else and someone else do something. It's like a chain of causative. Mesela öğretmen kadına çocuğunun baktırttı. It's actually one of the common mistakes. People say it in two double causative, with two causative suffixes. It's a common mistake, but you can also even make it triple exactly. Like doydurturdu. See? Or durdurturdu. Is it grammatical? Most of the time we don't go beyond two causatives. So if you take a look at the grammar, it's actually grammatical. It's not wrong. But there, what's wrong is it's redundant. It's not needed. An example to triple. Let me actually break this down into. See, this is triple. Triple, sorry. And what is the maximum number of causative you can have? I don't think there's any limits. It sounds like you can keep doing it. Yeah, exactly. This is triple. Let's do double. Actually, we can do the same. Doydurttu. This time I have two causatives, which is like actually grammatical, but very redundant. I mean, maybe double is a bit acceptable, but when it goes triple and 4 times or 5 times, it becomes very ridiculous. Okay, the first dur is you make someone to be full, you feed someone, but when you insert the second causative, it's like you ask someone to feed the baby. Mesela annem bana bebeği doyurttu. In daily life, we only go with the first or maybe at most this double causatives. Yeah, it's very like it's like a puzzle. It's like a game. You can keep going this as long as there are objects. You can use it. But it's considered a common mistake. I remember we used to correct this in the server as well. If you go to someone, if you use double causatives, they will not freak out. They will understand it. It will sound natural maybe. But if someone proofreads your texts, they will mark it as a mistake. Do they have to be the same number of objects? I think so, because you are causing someone or something, so you need an object. Yes, comma, exactly. X made Y makes as and make and the same chain. Okay, I know you're enjoying this, but we are running a bit out of time. It's getting a bit late. I want to complete this dur as well. Then we can move to the Layers of Turkish parts. I don't think we have time for practice. Maybe we can do that on Monday. But let's quickly go over the dur suffix as well. And I didn't have any explanation to this, so I just called it. It's added to other kinds of verbs, because if you know the first two rules, when like except for them, there is added to other verbs. And by the way, Megan, I said that the number of syllables don't matter. You can see an example here. There's giymek, which is one syllable, but still we use dir, not ır. And konuşmak. Konuşturmak. So konuşmak means to speak or to talk. I can actually insert this as well, to talk. And konuşturmak, to make someone speak, or you know, the interrogation. I made him talk. Onu konuşturdum. Giymek. Giydirmek. So giymek means to wear, and giydirmek to make someone wear, as in you can say, for example, kızımı, my daughter, giydirdim. Kızımı giydirdim. I made my daughter wear a dress or a shirt. So I put on clothes on her. And then gülmek. Güldürmek. Gülmek means to laugh. Güldürmek, to make someone laugh. And kesmek, to cut. So I will give an example to this. Saçımı kestim. I cut my hair. Saçımı kestim. Saçımı kestirdim. This time it's the causative. You went to a barber, hair salon. You got your hair cut. I got my hair cut. That's the difference. Kestim, kestirdim. And indim, inmek, to... It depends on the context. Sometimes it means to go downstairs. Sometimes it means to download. Yeah, I will go with download. And then when you download something, indirdim, to download something. And kesmek, kestirmek. Okay. Hepinize iyi akşamlar. Pazartesi pratikte görüşürüz.